Hi guys, it's Mark from SilencedTech coming at you with one important question in this video. How much RGB do you need? Steelseries, much like Razer and Corsair, have just released their own RGB mousepad with a few tweaks making it a little bit more user friendly. Let's face it, RGB lighting on a mousepad is completely unnecessary, but it sure looks cool. More importantly, if RGB lighting is used on a mousepad, will it affect the mousepad's performance in some way? No, I'm not saying that RGB lighting will improve your aim or give you more FPS. There has been some people complaining about Razer's and Corsair's RGB mousepads because the mouse wire gets caught on the bulky cable housing where the USB wire comes out of. In all fairness to Razer and Corsair, people complaining could have just used a mouse bungee to eliminate that issue. Checking out the Qck Prism, the first thing I noticed is that Steelseries have moved the USB connection that powers the RGB lighting off to the left. A seriously great idea. My mousepad cable is free from obstruction, although if you are spending this much on a mousepad, I would be shocked knowing you're not using any kind of mouse bungee. Priced at $64.99 UK pounds, $59.99 US dollars, and €74.99 euros, it's got to be one of the most expensive mousepads ever made. One thing I noticed straight away was how bulky it is due to its base. It's 1/4 of an inch thick because it houses the LEDs. Will it affect my gaming performance as my wrist isn't able to sit flat on my desk? Not sure if this is going to hinder my mouse movements or in fact is going to provide some extra wrist support. The overall size of this mousepad is just under 13.5 inches in length and 11.5 inches wide, so its surface area is more than enough for low and high DPI players. The build quality is excellent. The base is made from a soft rubberized silicone. On my gloss desk it can be moved fairly easily if pushed, but while gaming it didn't move at all. The cable coming off the mousepad isn't braided. I guess they wanted to keep the cable as thin and out of sight as possible. If you have a keyboard with a USB pass-through, hiding the mousepad's cable is pretty easy by simply tucking it underneath the keyboard, leaving only a small piece of wire on show. After about a week's use so far, the cloth surface hasn't showed any signs of wear or tear, and it should last you a very long time. The mousepad is detachable, so replacing it will be easy, plus you won't have to pay full price, thankfully, for a whole new base. The mousepad has dual surfaces, one hard surface for speed and one cloth for control. While testing I found both surfaces provided excellent tracking. I did a majority of my testing on the cloth side, but both surfaces tracked extremely well using an optical sensor. I would only recommend using a hard surface for laser sensors, as the pad did show some signs of skipping with my laser mouse. So what's my overall opinion on this mousepad? I'm fairly impressed. The extra height from the base didn't seem to affect my aim at all. In fact, it offered a little bit of extra wrist support. I certainly didn't notice any improvement using it over my regular Steelseries extended mousepad. Either way, at least it wasn't performing any worse. That said, I'm a fairly high DPI player. If you play at low DPI, I probably would stay clear of the Qck Prism. Jumping into the Steelseries engine-free software, there isn't really anything you haven't seen before from the likes of Razer or Corsair. You can customize 12 zones around the pad to whatever you like. There's also several effects you can choose, such as steady color, color shift, multicolor breathe, and lastly, cooldown timer. I found the lighting duller than most of the RGB keyboards or RGB mousepads I've used in the past. Much like most gaming products now, you can use the software to color coordinate or sync various lighting effects. The mousepad can match other Steelseries accessories like the lineup of mice, keyboards and headsets. One thing the competition, Razer and Corsair, doesn't have is the Prism's lighting effects can sync up with games like CSGO. I can just imagine imagine someone having their mousepad, mouse and keyboard flashing red repeatedly every time they're about to die in CSGO. Awesome stuff. Rounding off now guys, the Qck Prism is priced just a little too high in my opinion, on what essentially is just a rubber base, a mousepad and an LED light strip running around the outside. Plus the LED light strip is a little bit too dull compared to the competition. The award for the Qck Prism from Steelseries is silver. I hope you've enjoyed the review guys. What's your opinion on RGB mousepads that cost twice as much? Myself, I'm not particularly sold on the idea. My name's Mark from SilencedTech. Goodbye.